Hi, I'm Callum, but you can call me the Casual Hammerer, and finally, after many months of waiting, Warhammer Plus is here. Yeah! Whew. Warhammer Plus aims to be a one-stop shop for any discerning Warhammer fan. Let's start with the Warhammer Plus app itself. Wait, what do you mean there's no app? What? It's just an upgrade button on the My Warhammer website. That can't be right, that can't be right. Okay, so there is no Warhammer Plus app. It is actually all handled through your My Warhammer account page, which you can find by going to mywarhammer.com. And within there, you'll be able to upgrade to Warhammer Plus or sign up to Warhammer Plus if you don't already have an existing Warhammer 40k, the app subscription. But if you're on iOS, you can't currently upgrade to the website because your Warhammer 40k, the app subscription, is managed through the Apple subscriptions ecosystem, and that supersedes the My Warhammer account subscription system. So if you're subscribing that way, whether you want to or not, you need to go into your iCloud account settings on your iOS device and manually change the subscription from the monthly Warhammer 40k, the app subscription, to an annual Warhammer Plus subscription, and then in a few hours you should be able to gain access to your account. That's not good. In Games Workshop's defense, they have released a handy flowchart to help guide people through the process of signing up to Warhammer Plus, but the argument I'm making here is that you shouldn't need a flowchart to sign up to an all-in-one subscription when people are used to things like Disney Plus, Netflix, and even Amazon Prime. It's just a single sign up through one website, or you sign up to it in various different places and they all sync together magically. There's a lot of jumping through hoops for various reasons. Part of the reason being they probably want to try and avoid people subscribing via store-based solutions like the App Store or Android Google Play Store, because that's when those companies take a cut of their profit. But still, the current implementation is very messy, and I spent a good 2 hours yesterday trying to figure out how to upgrade my account to Warhammer Plus when I didn't have any active subscriptions anywhere. Turned out I was on a free trial for the Warhammer 40k app on my phone, and that was what was causing the problem. If you're still having problems trying to sign up and you're on iPhone in particular or iPad, that is most likely the issue. Just go through settings, follow the stupid flowchart. But yeah, hopefully in future this will all be streamlined, because yeah, it is a mess at the moment. But anyway, that's the weird admin side of all things Warhammer Plus. Let's move that out of the way. Let's talk about the actual thing that you're signing up for, that content. So I'm going to start by talking about Warhammer TV. If you're like me, you're probably thinking on the day of launch, what the hell is Warhammer TV? Isn't that the YouTube channel? No, it's this brand new website/app where all the new exclusive shows and animated feature films and shorts and series are housed. And that's a bit confusing because it wasn't really advertised as such until now. But anyway, again, let's stop talking about the admin side of things. Let's just talk about the content. The content's the main thing. And thankfully, the content we have so far is actually pretty good. Angels of Death is a really good show. I really love the stylized animation. It's got lots of decent voice acting. It's just oozes cool. It's got really good music in it as well. And the story, while it's a slow burn story, I think it's going to go places. And once we get a few episodes in, it's going to be really enjoyable. That being said, you can tell there are some constraints on the production, most notably in facial animation, which admittedly is the most difficult part of any CG animation endeavour, and it does look a bit ropey at some points, but again, like I said, once we're in the action, everyone's going to have helmets on for the most part, so it'll be fine, it'll just be voice, and that'll work out really well, I think. And yeah, I just want to say the actual art direction and style of the show works really well for what it's doing. It gets around the limitations of the budget for it in a really nice and smart way, and it's just really cool and fun to watch. Then there is Hammer and Bolter. There's 3 episodes available at the moment. Out of the 3 that are currently available, my favourite is weirdly the Bound by Honour, I think it was called. The second episode out of the 3. It's basically a story about a Imperial adept who has one job, and that's to count the same number of books every day without fail in a giant library. And things happen, and it's actually unnerving, scary in places, and dives into a side of the Warhammer 40k lore that doesn't really get a lot of highlight in the wider media for all things Warhammer, in particular 40k. So yeah, this was a really enjoyable episode because it just showed me something I'd never seen before in 40k and got me more interested in that side of the lore and the characters that are involved in it, and in particular the bad stuff that happens in it. So I definitely recommend checking that out. that episode out. It's very different compared to the other two, which are a bit more action focused. And yeah, it's just a great episode. The first episode is basically an advert for the Imperial Assassin figure that you can get as part of your subscription as one of the 2 choices for the free figure. And yeah, that was really good. It has a really good fight scene in the middle of it. And at the end, there's a really great sort of confrontational interrogation scene right at the end where there's a nice little twist. You can sort of see it coming if you're following along, but it's one of those twists where you're like, I know it's coming, I'm going to enjoy it when it happens. It happens, and you're like, yes, very nicely done. Third episode is the Old Bailey short, which was shown off a week before launch as sort of a advertisement for Warhammer Plus as a service and the animations. We've all seen it. I really enjoyed it. I know some people didn't because it was all very over the top and stylized and a bit too anime for some people, because in 2021 people still think anime is for children. Yeah, people are weird. Warhammer fans are weirder. But yeah, overall, I really like Hammer and Bolter. It's got a nice sort of old school feel to it with the style of animation. It's clear that they're working within the limitations of the budget they have, so there's lots of sort of pan and scan and static character shots with mouths moving or just repeated animation of characters walking and talking. But that's all understandable with the sort of starting point that the series is at and the service in general. Not sure how much money they're going to make, so they put in a minimum amount to sort of hit a threshold, and then hopefully if enough people subscribe, they start pumping more money into these animations, which it seems like they're going to do anyway, because they hired a bunch of fan animators and brought on other production houses to make even more animations going forward. I personally really like the concept of Hammer and Bolter, and an anthology series is perfect for something like Warhammer, with its many different settings, and each of those settings being quite deep in their own lore and sort of minutiae. This is a great way to sort of go, here's this bit you may not have considered before, or here's a different view on a character or characters that are fairly well known, or here's just a showcase of something really cool within the setting. Here's the rub though with the current crop of animated stuff for Warhammer Plus. It's all 40k focused. The sort of breadth they're going for and the various formats for the shows, particularly Hammer and Bolter, which has the AOS iconography and stuff in it, and like the Hammer is Age of Sigmar, the Bolter is 40k. Age of Sigmar is nowhere to be seen outside of one episode of Battle Report in all the new stuff that was released on Wednesday. They have said the Age of Sigmar stuff is coming, but for launch, for a service like this, for what they're wanting it to be, it's a bit shit not to have Age of Sigmar content as part of that initial lineup. Even if it was just one episode of Hammer and Bolter, that would be a lot better than what we currently have now. Next up are the exclusive shows. So you've got Masterclass, which is probably worth the price of subscription to Warhammer Plus alone. 2 episodes in, I'm already like, I've learned stuff. I'm going to try some of the techniques shown off. Definitely getting a new appreciation for colour theory and various techniques when painting. I just usually do quick, rough and ready painting, but this is actually making me want to make that push into trying a bit harder on some key models like my hero characters. So yeah, definitely check it out. The production quality in both episodes of Masterclass is really, really good, and sort of the natural progression, I'd say, of the current painting tutorials that the Warhammer TV team do for the YouTube channel. It's just that next level, and it's just so well done. Then there's Battle Report, which in the first 2 episodes, there's a 40k one, and in the Age of Sigmar one, is a bit of a mixed bag. I will hand it to them, the overall production quality is great. The presentation style is really good as well. It's what I was expecting, to be honest. It's the video equivalent of the battle reports from White Dwarf, and it serves that purpose brilliantly. It sort of breaks things down quite clearly. You get good sort of showcases of each player's collections of models before they start playing. They're highlighting their strategies, they're talking about what they're going to do, and then when they're actually playing the game, it's a good mix of a static over-the-head view where they're highlighting and showing what's happening with call-outs and technical information and just putting boxes around things so you can actually follow the action. Dice rolls are in a separate side where they can cut to, then they have a side cam to sort of get nice action shots in the middle of it. That's all really good, and it works really well, and it's so much better than the majority of battle reports I see on things like YouTube, where it's just somebody with a phone camera going in, going, look at all these things, and you can't follow the action at all, you have no idea what's going on. Whereas the battle report stuff on Warhammer TV assumes that you're au fait with the games, but you're probably not playing constantly, you don't know the rules inside out, so it's going to constantly explain to you things like the basics of movement, how a charge works, but it'll do it quickly and efficiently, and then remind you periodically during the course of an episode, and then just really highlight those niggly rules and interactions that can happen in both 40k and Age of Sigmar. I really enjoyed both episodes. Two hosts are really good. Key thing that I really like about it is that there's a nice focus on narrative in it. So you get a nice narrative introduction, just adds an extra level of gravitas to all the things, and then couple that with the graphics and the sort of indents and everything they do. It's all very professionally done, it all works together really well. But once again, there is this weird focus on the 40k side of things, right down to the presentation of battle reports. So they've gone for a unified style with colour palette swaps between 40k it's all blue, Age of Sigmar it's all red, but the style of the graphics is definitely future tech inspired, let's say. There's lots of sci-fi, here's a unit, here's a box, here's like a radar thing going on, which works really well in the 40k one, but in the Age of Sigmar one, it's a bit jarring. I can understand why they've done it. Saves money and cost. You don't want two completely different styles for a show that has the same format, but I feel like something different could have been done. They could have come to a unified style that was the best of both, and that wasn't done. Again, focus on the 40k stuff, because sadly that's the way they knew it was going to go. People are going to gravitate towards the 40k stuff first because people are weird, and Warhammer fans are even weirder. The other thing that's in the Warhammer TV app is sort of a best of collection of various different things. So you have various Citadel colour tutorials in there, sort of like the key basics and technique stuff, which is really good, and really good to have handy within a single app with everything else, along with the masterclass stuff especially. And then there's the sort of recent cinematic trailers they've done for 40k, Age of Sigmar, and the Kill Team that are in there. Those are free to view whether you have a subscription or not. Anyway, on to the next bit. The next bit of Warhammer Plus is the Vault, which admittedly is quite threadbare at the moment. It's basically a collection of, I think it's all the issues of Warhammer Visions from the couple of years that was running. Pretty much a year's worth of White Dwarf up to about, was it 8 months ago, I think it is, and then going back from there, and then a bunch of campaign and rules supplements with the rules stripped out for both 40k and Age of Sigmar. These are really good for someone like me who likes the lore and particularly wants to learn more about the lore for things like 40k, because I know Age of Sigmar quite well, but 40k I'm still a bit like, yeah, even though I've been playing it for years and collecting it for years. These campaign supplements, the lore sections of them are always really well done, really well put together, so it's great to have a place to have them all. It's a shame the rules are stripped out of them. I can understand why that's happened. They don't want to cause confusion from average Joe going into that going, oh, this is cool, oh, these are the rules I'll use, and then they go to a store and everyone's like, what are you doing? You're using the wrong rules. You can no longer play Warhammer again. You are now banished to the wastes. You must go play one of the other more reasonably priced games that are available at any local friendly game store. Warhammer 40k stuff feels a bit more current because the story for 40k tends to move at a slower pace than it does for Age of Sigmar. A lot of the stuff for Age of Sigmar that's currently available in the Vault is from first edition. The story stuff in the first edition Age of Sigmar core book is just like where we are now in the story of Age of Sigmar, and it's like a tiny bit here. So yeah, it's really not up to date at all, but hopefully more stuff will be added to that over time. And then finally, let's talk about exclusive offers. Warhammer Plus is launching with 2 exclusive offers to subscribers. One is the free model if you're an annual subscriber or you subscribe continuously as a monthly subscriber for 9 months, I believe. I went for the Iron Jaws because I'm an edgelord and I know everyone's going for the Assassin and I like to be different, and plus Age of Sigmar is better than 40k. The other exclusive offer is if you subscribe to Warhammer Plus before the end of this month, which is August, you'll get a £10 voucher for the Games Workshop web store, which isn't a lot, but it's just the added incentive to get a lot of people in on the service early so they can see it grow and they can turn around to people and go, look at all the subscribers we have. Even though we basically gave them back the money for their subscription to get the voucher, but look at all the subscribers we have. So yeah, in conclusion, I really like Warhammer Plus as a service. There's lots of wrinkles that need to be ironed out at this point, but they're minor enough to not impact my overall enjoyment. The only major downside is the severe lack of new Age of Sigmar content across all levels of the service. I can understand the reasoning for going 40k, 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 because everyone's like, 40k, ugh. It should be front and center. If they're wanting people to invest in both ultimately, because Warhammer Plus is basically an advertisement platform, why not have the thing you know a lot of people aren't already engaged in there and show them how good it is and get them invested in that, so they're giving you more money, buying more models, doing more things. Anyway, I'm not an expert at these things, that's just my opinion on this, and that's it. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, ding the bell, which is there, I believe. It all does various things, helps me know if you're actually watching. Comment down below, what's the thing you like about Warhammer Plus as a service, what's the thing you hate, what do you want to see in the future? Not just Age of Sigmar stuff, like I keep saying. Although I would love some sort of animated series about Grots trying to find bottles. That's what the world needs. Comedy content for Warhammer. We need more of that, please. That's my wish. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.